Hey guys, Rebel Engine 95, recording live from the local county prison cell. So, this one's a little, not exciting, but this one's a little cool for me to do. So this is a death battle that, I guess in a way I came up with. A little bit of backstory here. So, as I've said many times on this channel, I actually said it in my intro video that I've long since deleted, um, that my original intent for my channel was to, in addition to death battle videos, do like my own matchups, or that my death battle videos were supposed to be like, kind of like a warm up session for my matchup videos. I was gonna do my own matchup videos because I really liked the videos that were done by like JB Murray of Wolverfrag Dude 907, or formerly at the time Deadpoolzilla, now Mr. Multiverse, Mount Vernon Kid, things like that. Guys that did like really good matchup videos, and they I kind of learned through watching them what the type of thinking that has to go on and go through, and also just the kind of like improvisational, attitude towards it. Like when you kind of just come at it with the knowledge of the characters and without actually doing research and shit, how that's kind of how I do my predictions. If you guys don't know, generally I don't do research when it comes to this, because like that's Death Battle's job. Like, I give a prediction, I don't do the work for them and then see if they did the same thing. Like, that would be stupid to do. To just be like, oh, well, I've done the calculations, and then they do a completely different set of calculations and go with that. So it's like, there's no real point to that. But anyway, this was actually a fight I had meant to do from matchups I had selected. And back then it was just kind of, I picked the characters because they seemed like it worked. But looking at it through time, I'm like, this actually makes a lot more sense to do, and it actually has the intricacies of it to be a good matchup. So I'm gonna stop stalling. It's Hawkgirl from DC, or Hawkwoman, depending on the incarnation, and Demona from Gargoyles. So first thing is, oh, well, they would put Hawkman. Well, arguably, I would say Hawkgirl or Hawkwoman has more of a mainstay appeal due to her appearance, in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And I'm not using that specific version or anything for this fight. It's just the fact that it's not like that's why she has a mainstay presence. That's why we don't just have Hawkman or anything. That's why she's in Injustice and Hawkman isn't. Um Secondly, from watching Justice League and Justice League Unlimited several times over, and from watching Gargoyles several times over, just because they're two of my favorite series of all time, I am actually pretty qualified to talk about this. So, let's get into it. So, in most incarnations, Hawkgirl's known as she or a Hall. At least, I say most, in at least two that are presented to us. So, she actually has several incarnations as Hawkgirl and Hawkwoman, due to the fact that each of her incarnations is a reincarnation of a past being that would later become the original, figure of Hawkgirl or Hawkwoman. So regardless of whether she dies or not, she would come back, but there's no guarantee of how long it would take. Secondly, so I don't know why I said secondly there. All the incarnations essentially are the same, same deal, right? Like, some of them have slightly above human strength. They each have the nth metal belt. Some of them have real wings. Some of them just have attached wings, but the wings don't actually let them fly. They just kind of use them to propel them, because the nth metal belt by design lets them, levitate. The wings just kind of help them along. And they all have the nth metal axe, or mace, and the unique properties to the metal allow the mace to disrupt magic. This could go from breaking magical force fields to hurting what would otherwise be immortal, impervious, or intangible beings. Uh, Things like that. They're all generally very good fighters, some of them better than others. Some of them actually being from Thanagar, some of them being Earthlings, and some of them having the memories of the past selves, and some of them not. So, but like I said, the incarnation that they use doesn't really affect the fight that much, so it's not really of consequence to try to, say, oh, well, it would have to be this incarnation. No. They all generally have the same sort of thing going on. As far as flight speeds, they can usually keep up with like jet planes and things like that. Um they can usually hold their own against like hordes of other flying enemies. Yeah, they're usually just pretty inept and capable fighters. And it's generally the same. It's generally the when I get into Demona, you'll see the connection of why they're two. But there's not much like because I can't say it's specifically Shayera Hall or anything. I can't really go too much into personality or backstory or anything because well they could use the 2011 into present incarnation of Hawkgirl, which is I forget her name, but it's not Shayera Hall. So, but like I said, even if they use the same thing, it would be pretty much the same, same fight. Um, it's just that I can't really go into like the characteristics of the character too much. If I'm going with a broad spectrum Hawkgirl analysis. And then we get on into Demona, which I can give a broad spectrum analysis of, but I'm looking at the time and I'm thinking I better hurry this along. So Demona was Goliath's lover or wife, if you wish, and was part of the 10th century Wyvern clan. But during the siege of the castle during the daytime, before the dawn, the sunrise, she she abandoned them and flew away to protect herself. After that, she had been trying to survive by herself and struck a pact with the King Macbeth that by the Weird Sisters, making her and Macbeth linked and therefore immortal unless one of them kills the other. If they are dealt a killing blow, they will both temporarily die, but shortly after, come back up. But if the only way for them to permanently die is for one of them to kill the other and therefore permanently also kill themselves. In the vein of if one dies, the other dies, but if one lives, the other lives. So, because of this, and because of her affiliations with, her eventual betraying of Macbeth and scorning the Hunters, which, an organization that were specifically designed to, specifically created a family that have, over the generations, like led their lives just to kill her. Demona's actually been alive for over 1,000 years and has had constant fighting in her life and constant conflict. So she has over 1,000 years of battle experience. Not to mention the decades that she had just being part of the Wyvern clan. This makes her an incredibly cunning and also versatile fighter. She has all the regular gargoyle, accoutrement of, superhuman strength, enough to, like, lift and throw cars. Gliding on air currents, though she's very clearly glided against, like, jet engines in midair, so, and caught up to jets and stuff like that, so that's, not really gliding. Razor sharp claws, stone-like skin, aging, half the amount that humans do, though that's kind of unnecessary because she's eternally young due to the curse. And the other thing that separates her from regular gargoyles is that not only does she turn human during the day instead of turning to stone, but she also was taught magic by the Archmage. And because of that became one of the most powerful magic users aside from deities in the Gargoyle universe. Uh, this allows, she doesn't like shoot lightning or anything, but she's used it to put, curses on others. She's used it to, utilize magical talismans so that she can, use broad spectrum spells and things like that, protection spells and whatnot. But how do I go into this fight? Well, at first, when I was thinking about this, for those of you who didn't realize, the theme is that, immortality, reincarnation, they'll always keep coming back, that sort of thing. At one point, Hawkgirl's connection was actually very similar to Demona and Macbeth's connection with that she had with Hawkman, whereas when one died, the others, sprang back to life, and then when that one died, the other sprang back to... But that's not the point. So, at first I thought, well, Hawkgirl can fully fly, whereas Demona can just glide, right? And that nth metal mace, I would assume, would be able to break the link between her and Macbeth and actually kill her, because, like I said, it's broken through magic-based intangibility and vulnerability. She's wounded gods with it, things like that. Any magical-based sort of protection, whether it be by the nature of the creature she's fighting or by some sort of enchantment, would be broken or disrupted by the nth metal mace. But having the way to kill somebody and being able to are two different things, and I think in pretty much every other category, Demona has the advantage in terms of strength. She far outclasses anything we've seen Hawkgirl do in terms of intelligence and battle experience, way over anything any incarnation of Shire or Hawkgirl's ever done. Even the Thanagarian ones with their advanced battle tactics, I don't think really kind of measures up to over 1,000 years of combat experience. And when you consider that, Demona doesn't really use any other sort of magic in combat, the mace, it's the only special feature about the mace, aside from its indestructibility, is that it can actually kill Demona, which pretty much just makes it a regular mace against a regular gargoyle at that point. And we've seen gargoyles bleed from steel weapons, but not from, they're very, like I said, their skin is like stone, and they're superhumanly strong, so without the proper power behind it, it would take, it's not going to be one hit from the mace and Demona's down. It's going to have to be it's going to take a lot of hits to kill her, and I don't think it's going to last that long, personally. And even if we look at the mobility advantage, like I said, we've seen Demona fly up to jets and glide against jet engines, which should be impossible. So, yeah, it's not even really that much of a mobility disadvantage. So, yeah, it seems like Hawkgirl has the advantage in terms of being able to kill Demona, but Demona actually, I think, would be the one that would win this. So, like I said, this is very fun to do, and these are two Gargoyles more so than DC, but Gargoyles is one of my favorite shows of all time, so I'd actually had Demona on this show before, and I'd had the Gargoyles on this show as well, so that was, and Goliath had a death battle, so that was nice. But, yeah, it's always nice to revisit this, so. Anyway, Verbal Engine 95, see ya.